Laura Evans is a singer-songwriter and actress known for her role as Madison Square Gardens in the Basil Brush Show, and more recently as one of the UK's finest country and blues musicians. And she's now released the second single from her debut album State of Mind, which is called Fire with Fire, and that follows the success of her first single, I'm Alright. And she's on the phone with us just now, and you were just saying that you're actually away in Norway, right?
I am, yes. I'm all the way in Norway at the moment, so Thank you so much for having me.
Now, this new song, Fire with Fire, what's the inspiration behind it?
I actually wrote this song. This was one of the songs that I wrote in lockdown a couple of years ago. Obviously, like many musicians, I wrote so many songs in lockdown. And there was just a lot of kind of crazy stuff going on in the press and in the world at the time. And it's kind of just a song about staying true to yourself and finding your own peace of mind, I guess. It's probably the only song on the album that isn't about love.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping people can relate to it.
Yeah. Did you find that during lockdown, writing songs sort of helped you have something to do?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I also had a lot of time to there wasn't a rush to write like there is sometimes, you make a priority to write something to finish it. We just had so much time, so I think it was a great time for creatives to just take their time.
Yeah. And how long did Fire with Fire take you to write? Was it quicker than normal because you had nothing else to do?
Yeah, it was actually. My boyfriend is a guitarist, and he was just strumming some kind of Fleetwood Mac-y, vibey, guitar-y things. Yeah. And I started singing that song, and I got to the chorus, and I was thinking, I was trying to tweak the words of it, and then the next day when I listened back to it, I was like, oh no, it's perfect. I'm going to keep it just as it is. So I think it took a couple of hours, Matt.
Wow, yeah. And as well, the single before this, I'm Alright, was already a big success. You must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I really was. I knew for the first single I had to kind of go big or go home, really. So I'm Alright was definitely one of the more rocky, bluesy songs of the album. I had so much fun kind of recording it as well.
Yeah, and there's an interesting story about how that song came about, because I think I heard you say once that you wrote it on a plane, right?
Yeah, I was going on holidays to Greece last summer, and I was listening to a lot of Larkin Poe, and my boyfriend fell asleep, actually, and I just turned off the music and started singing into my phone. I'm in my brand new car with my sunglasses on, and the song was born from that. We did rewrite the chorus several times, because the verses I had down straight away, and then I rewrote the chorus with my producer, Josiah. But yeah, the song actually started on a plane.
And when you're flying to Greece, it feels like forever, doesn't it? So it's no surprise that you could write a song in that time.
Yeah, and there's something about getting on a plane. I don't know if it's the altitude or something. I definitely get more in touch with my emotions, with my imagination for writing songs. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but it definitely works for me.
Yeah, although at the same time, it's quite noisy up there on a plane, isn't it? Does that hinder things, or do you manage to tune it out?
I think you tune it out, yeah. And I think, you kind of find a way to focus on your own thoughts maybe a little more than you would. So, yeah.
And the whole album, State of Mind, is going to be out on the 1st of July. What can we expect from the overall album?
Well, there's a little bit of everything on the album. I've definitely stayed true to everything that inspires me, so blues, rock, a little country. There's probably only 2 ballads on there, which are really fun and amazing to write. So, there's something for everyone, and it's full of kind of singles, really. There's not really any song I think you would skip an album track. I've kind of made a choice to make sure every song is, the best it can be.
Yeah, that's quite hard work, isn't it? Because a lot of the time you listen to some albums, and if it's a classic album, only a few of the songs were hits. So do you feel like it's maybe important to make all of the album great songs?
Yeah, I think we live in this world now of singles, and so I think maybe that's where it comes from. But I had so many songs that I thought were going to be singles that didn't get released, and I thought, well, I'll have to put them on the album. And then once you kind of set the bar for those kind of songs and go through the list of all the other songs that might make it onto the album, some songs didn't make the cut, just because they weren't quite good enough. So, and I picked 11 tracks, so I feel like I picked the 11 best songs.
Yeah. And of course you mentioned about there being a couple of ballads on it. It's interesting because you do ballads and more rockier songs. Do you prefer maybe one style over the other, or do you still like them both really equally?
Yeah, I like them both equally. I think if I had my own way, I have to not write too many ballads because I find writing ballads easier.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to write a slower song than it is to write something upbeat and radio ready. So when I do find the inspiration to write upbeat songs, I'm like, oh wow, I better hold on to this. Whereas I could probably write ballads all day, so I have to rein myself in. And actually, my voice works well with an upbeat, with a driving beat and electric guitars. So yeah, I tend to have to work a bit harder to write an upbeat song.
Now, what actually got you interested in blues music? Were you into music as a child? Because I know you were an actress for a little while, weren't you? But was music always there even before that?
Yeah, music was always there, and I kind of fell into acting through a little bit of a kind of accident, really. I always wanted to just make music, and I had a record deal when I was very young. I made an album, and it got dropped. So I was kind of left out in the cold with no music and no record deal, and I kind of just started acting to fill my time. Then landed a job on kids' TV, as you do. This is like a fork in the road. I just kind of took a little detour. And then I was like, all I want to do is make music. So when that kind of journey ended, I definitely knew I was coming back to music. It was just a little later than planned.
Yeah, and I think if you do the maths, you were quite young on the Basil Brush show, weren't you? So was that perhaps a good place to start?
Yeah, I was late teens doing that. So it was by the time I was in my early 20s then, it was all over. So it was about finding who I wanted to be as an artist and what I wanted to say and stuff.
Yeah. And you're back out on tour again as well, which is exciting.
Yes. Yeah, I just finished a tour with the amazing Robert John the Wreck, who are a Californian southern rock band. So we've just done 12 dates in the UK with them. So that was awesome.
And that's exciting to perform with Robert John and the Wreck. Who would you say is the most exciting people that you've performed with?
Well, I'm still working on the list. I mean, there's so many amazing artists. Obviously, Robert John and the Wreck was such a treat. And I haven't actually supported anyone mega famous yet. So hopefully, watch this space. I mean, I'd love to work with some greats like Larkin Poe or Beth Hart or... There's so many amazing artists, so yeah, hopefully one day.
Did you support the Shires ones? I think I read that.
I did, yeah. I supported the Shires a few times, actually, in Chepstow Castle. And that was pretty amazing, because that venue is so cool and big. Yeah. So that was a highlight for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And what else is coming up for you? I suppose you've got this album coming out very soon, but with all the time during lockdown, have you maybe got more songs written that you're hoping to release at some point?
Yeah, I think I was wondering what to do with all these songs. So I think there's definitely another album in the works, and as soon as this one is out and I toured it and played some live shows this year, then next year we can definitely think about releasing some singles and then another album. So they're not all recorded yet though, so I just kind of want to get out and play. It's been so long, just enjoying the live element at the minute of just getting out with my band and playing the album live.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where can we keep up to date with you and find all your music? Is it just in the usual places?
Yeah, the usual places. It's Laura Evans on Spotify and iTunes and all your favourite music platforms. And then on Facebook, it's Laura Evans. Instagram, Laura Evans UK. Just you can find me that way.
Great. Well, many thanks for joining us today. It's been great to chat to you.
Thank you so much for having me.